Barbie Land is perfect, and everything in it is perfect, and you have perfect day after perfect day until you don't.
In a way, Barbie Land is a world without aging, it's a world without death, it's a world without mistakes.
Walking into those environments and feeling the kind of artistry and the love and the playfulness, it was so exciting.
It's just eye candy, and it's so fun to look at, but it's also beautiful, genuinely beautiful. And there's such craftsmanship and such artistry in all of it. I felt like I was a miniature little doll in the real dream houses.
One of the wonderful things about shooting here on all these big sound stages is that we were able to really create that world.
The fact that all of this is practical and has been built does a lot for the cast. Walking on and seeing, wow, this is really the world.
This isn't like any cul-de-sac that I've ever been on. It's very, very pink. It's a little bit more pink than I've ever seen in my life, but I love just how like glittery and sparkly it is.
I didn't realize so many shades of pink existed in the world, but everything is beautiful and everything looks perfectly plastic and perfectly fake.
It's all true to its own universe and so distinct from the real world.
We had a vision of old filmmaking techniques, and as reference points, we watched a lot of old movie musicals.
I love the sort of interiority of those musicals and how they are authentically artificial, that they have this heightened emotionality that comes from its artificiality.
Greta coined the term authentically artificial, that it feels like an authentic world with its own rules, but these people are authentic and they're feeling real things.
I'm such a huge fan of Greta's and her work. She's so smart and deep in everything she does, so everything from the script to the sets to the wardrobe to the props. She is one of a kind, and it's such a singular vision which she's created.
She's just the best. I love her so much. She is one of the very few auteurs of our generation, and it's why I wanted to work with her.
Greta's enthusiasm is just completely contagious. And when she started describing these ideas that I read on the script, the way she described them to me was just wonderful.
A big part of it was making sure that I didn't let the adult part of my brain take over and run the show, that I was like, what did the little girl want? Iridescent purple and brighter pink.
Pink is a major part of the design.
We tweaked and created this lookup table, and then everybody could choose or adapt colors to make sure that they look pleasing. And indeed, the colors look beautiful.
A lot of it was inspired by old Slim Aaron's pictures and that 1970s Palm Springs sort of kind of vibe of leisure and clean lines.
Beautiful people in beautiful places doing beautiful things. That was the mantra, that's the essence of Barbie.
Toy was a big aspect of the design. Greta always said, I want people to watch this and feel like they can reach in and touch it or pick it up, because that's the world of Barbie and toys.
We are in a giant toy box, and this is the toy box, and this is the toy world, and they are dolls.
Welcome to Barbie's Dream House. Come on in. This is my breakfast table and my kitchen. We're in the living room right now. Here's a fun little bar and a slide that goes from the bedroom down into the pool.
We had dream houses through the ages, so the first Barbie dream house is the card one. It evolves today to this sort of incredible 3-story edifice that you put together.
We have a mixture of things that are physically there, but then also decal, because again, playing into the world of toys, our kitchen being a great example of that. So on the back here, you have just a decal, so it is intentionally 2D, and it's that thing where we want things to be obviously artificial, but still very satisfying.
The houses are 23% smaller
than real life
to get that toy quality, because if a Barbie was to stand in a house, a hand can touch the ceiling.
And it's the same as the cars.
Yeah.
The cars are 23% smaller, because whenever you're playing with a Barbie and you try and put it in a car, it's not going to fit in the car.
They have no walls, and that sounds very simple, but everything in Barbie Land is seen at all times.
There is no water in Barbie Land. There's no water or fire. There are no elements. There's technically no electricity, but we do need light sources, so don't think too hard on that one.
It took a lot of figuring out what exactly are the parameters of this universe. I mean, even things like how fast do the cars drive? Like, not fast, 7 miles per hour. There's like a million decisions. Very hard directing Barbie on this beach.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie. The beach sequences was one of the most difficult to kind of crack, actually, because we're in a place that has no water, so it's toy. And actually, retrospectively, it's like, well, of course it would be plastic, and of course it would be solid, but, you know, arriving at exactly how that was going to be done was very tricky.
There's no wind, so the sand never, ever bothers you. We've got signs that say swim with sharks, and every day's a happy swimmer's day. I mean, everything is perfect about Barbie Beach.
Everything looks like sweets. So the mountains are painted like cocoa truffles, and the rock looks like raspberry meringues. The whole thing about Weird Barbie is everything about Barbie Land was perfect and pure and 90-degree angles and square, and there isn't a 90-degree angle in this house. Everything has gone cockeyed.
Welcome to my weird house.
There's a couple of crucial references, which were the idea of the Boo Radley house in To Kill a Mockingbird. Oh, you mustn't go near the Weird Barbie house. And also slightly based on the Psycho house, which everybody loves and knows.
Weird Barbie's house. It's not molded or stained. It's just been messed with. And that was something, we did a lot of work on that to figure it out how it would be.
You have the warm red, yellow, orange scale, and then you have the green, blue scale. Again, no black or no white. There's no black or white in Barbie Land at all.
And where everybody has their mailbox, Barbie Margot has the flamingo, and of course Weird Barbie has Valerie the vulture. Weird Barbie knows everything. We wanted to make her something that we called it Pandora's box. So inside it comes things as simple as water, because there's no water in Barbie Land. And of course then she also has potato, because this is what they eat. And then we made her these cracker things, and she sort of goes into them and learns to tell the future through them.
It's a piece of living art. You walk in and see this stuff and you're like, how did a person think of this? And they did. And it's because Greta has fostered this environment of everyone just play to the top of your joy level and make it the most amazing thing you can. And it's just so inspiring to see what everyone came up with.
This is Barbie Oval Office in the Pink House.
The first time I stepped on set, I was just in awe because down to every detail, it's Barbie, and the specifics just make you happy, and it makes you feel good to be on that set. It makes you feel like a Barbie. I love you guys.
The desk we grained pink, and the first time we saw it, it was an absolute shock. And it was like, oh my goodness, what are we doing? And also the carpet here, which has the Barbie coat of arms on it. We had to do this 3 times to get the pinks right.
When Ken takes over Barbie Land and calls it the Kendom, he brings a lot of stuff. Leather couches, protein powder, massage guns, video games, weights, headbands, watches, mink furs, leisure wear, sports attire.
It was a pretty incredible feeling getting to step onto the Mojo Dojo set. It's basically this rigmarole of horses and basketball nets and weights and all of these hyper-masculine things.
Greta in her mind had a very, very specific thing, and it was all about the black leather.
The black leather. Everything we do for Barbie, we have to remember that it has to be juxtaposed for when Ken takes over. So Barbie's bedspread is made of crystal fabric and things like that. And then we've got Ken Ryan waking up, and he's got rid of her stuff, pushed it all to the side, and it's now a photographic image of giant horses on the duvet, and his pillows are all horses, and he's surrounded by televisions and mini fridges. Mini fridges is a big thing.
The Barbie dream houses are built beautifully. They have like a very calming and soothing aesthetic. Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa house is like someone vomited masculinity all over it.
We had to have a Ken Oval Office, we had to have a Ken Nobel Peace Prize, we had to have a Ken Supreme Court. You can choose what horse you would like.
This is a lot of pressure. Is there a horse that doesn't look like it's desperate to be chosen? Look at this. There's no eyes.
It was believing that actually bringing so many ugly items into a set actually forms its own beauty, which was a bit of a breakthrough.
The transition between Barbie Land and the real world is a series of transportation vehicles that get us there, kind of like in this 2D endless tracking shot.
It was even sort of using these old silent movie film techniques. It looked like a Carl Zeman movie.
The sequence itself had 6 different environments that Ken and Barbie travel through, and we wanted all of those individual sets to have an overall look.
We get to camp, and we get to be in space, and we get to be sailors, and all these little things from space and time to land in Barbie Land.
In all of our sets, the vehicle is stationary within the set and the set moves to create the movement. But the camper set is different. It's the only one where the camera moves and our actors are stationary.
The transportation vehicles are all very handmade, very tactile, and very clever in that there's all these little layers, but it's all very still flat and 2D. So you might have a boat that's moving while the water's moving. And that's literally like our crew members pulling a rope like this and putting like little bits of cellophane on the water to make it look like it's twinkling like water, and little dolphins diving like that, or a raccoon jumping out from behind a tree, or a waterfall, which is just a shiny piece of material that someone's behind that backdrop literally pulling.
The rocket itself is sat on a robot that has a recorded automated move which kind of gently bounces along as the rocket travels, and our actors sat on top of the rocket.
When we leave our office here to go and find Barbie and bring her back, you just cut to us on a tandem bike, and that's a practical set. None of it's CGI, and it's just presentational as if you were watching a play.
This is the tandem set, so we've got a 12-seater bike, so we've got the static backing, we've got a kind of a land piece which is on rails, and the windmills spin.
The whole thing was meant to be fun. We've been having so much fun. So it's always been a tightrope walk between the creative being incredibly elevated and also incredibly accessible.
A lot of directing is done before you even roll the cameras because it's this collaboration with these incredible artists. But it was an extraordinary feat of design, and I'm so excited to have been able to build this crazy, beautiful world that I hope is just like a happiness generator for people.
That was great. God.